Barry Allen has been the fastest man alive, but has someone taken that title? Welcome to the DC Rebirth. In today's video, we'll be going over Flash, Lightning Strikes Twice, the first story arc in the Flash Rebirth series. Barry Allen was just a forensic scientist trying to solve his mother's murder case. His father was accused of killing his wife, and Barry knew that his father didn't commit the crime he so worked hard, tirelessly to prove his father's innocence. But Barry had someone to help him through all this, his friend, August, who had just recently lost his brother. Barry promised to look into his case as well, but that night, Barry was hit by lightning. Little did Barry know that instead of killing him, the lightning granted him powers, enabling him to become the Flash. With these great powers, Barry was able to be at any crime or disaster. However, even with his speed, he can't rescue everyone. Barry arrives at a crime scene telling Dr. Singh, "I know, I'm sorry I'm late. Sorry won't help the victim, Alan." However, before the director goes any further, August arrives telling the director, saying, "I'm sure the crime scene won't run away. You know nobody cares more about justice than Barry." While going over the crime scene, Barry realizes that he promised Iris lunch with her nephew Wally to help with the science project. August tells Barry to go ahead and go, he'll handle the crime scene. As Barry runs across town, thinking to himself that ever since the pre-New 52 Wally West returned, he's been trying to spend more time with Wally from the New 52. Barry arrives at Jitters and tells Iris and Wally sorry for being late, and he offers to help Wally with the science project when Wally tells him, "Thanks for the offer, Barry, but I finished my projects a few days ago." While Iris tells Barry to stop thinking sorry for himself, fire engines begin to drive by and Barry tells Iris and Wally that he'll be back. But before he leaves, Wally tells him that an apartment is on fire and Star Labs transport is under attack on 22nd Street. Thinking to himself on which way to go, the fire or Star Labs, Barry tells himself, "I can do both." As Barry arrives at the fire, he quickly removes everyone from the building and he heads to Star Labs. August is already there as a bullet flies towards him, and then August is hit by lightning, granting him the powers of the Flash. The next day, Barry starts to teach August how to use his powers, though after some disappointment, August tells Flash, "I want you to know that I appreciate what you're doing, Barry." Surprised, August assures him that no one will learn of his secret identity and that they should really go for some burgers and fries. Elsewhere, Wally's in a dump running with his speed and enjoying himself, thinking to himself that his powers seem to be fading away, so he might as well enjoy them while he can. Back with Barry as he goes over the crime scene papers and notes that from day before, August tells Barry that with the Speed Force, he can just run through every building and look for his brother's murderer. However, with Barry telling him, "You can't abuse your powers, you can't take revenge, you're still an officer of the law." But before the conversation go any further, Barry receives a call from Iris, who just so happenly gets abducted by Black Hole. As Barry runs over, he's able to rescue Iris, but Dr. Carver tells his men that since the Flash is now involved, it's time to use their new weapon against him. As one of the men fires it, it hits the Flash, who notes that he hasn't felt this much pain since facing the Black Racer. As Barry lies on the ground, unable to get back up, the grunt points the gun at the Flash one more time until August arrives in a costume, punching the man and the truck. As Barry and August defeat the men, and talking about giving August a secret identity, lightning comes down, striking multiple people and transforming them into speedsters. 3 days have passed as 3 thieves, now with super speed, have just robbed a bank, but they won't get away from Barry and August, who are now working as partners. Back at Star Labs, Barry has been training some speedsters to better understand their powers, while starting to spark a romantic interest in Dr. Amina Dawana, a scientist from Argus who also got hit by lightning storm and was granted super speed. Once Barry and Amina head to a young girl's house so that Barry can calm her down too, and the 3 speedsters head back to Star Labs. When Barry and Mina head towards Iron Heights to speak with the robbers they captured earlier, they find them dead and August lying on the ground, beaten and bloodied. "August, who did this to you? Who did this?" He said his name was GodSpeed. The next day, Flash continues to train the individuals who received the powers from the lightning. When Mina tells Flash, "All the speedsters, you, me, are connected via the Speed Force, but it hasn't completely bonded to ourselves like it has to you, so it's temporary." That I don't know. However, when a speedster is using their powers near each other, the Speed Force wants to lock together and recombining in one singular speedster. So that's how GodSpeed stole the Speed Force at Iron Heights. So the Speed Force gives us a connection, and here I thought our connection was natural. Are you trying to flirt with me? Flash doesn't know how to flirt. August comes in giving Barry the crime scene results from the Black Hole case so that he doesn't get fired by Singh. After going through the papers, Iris comes by to inform Flash of the equipment that Dr. Joseph Carver, an employee at Star Labs, has constructed a black hole, a device that allows an individual to tap into the Speed Force. In order to stop the situation from getting worse and escalating, Flash and Mina decide to head towards Black Hole in order to stop this. Once they arrive, Flash grabs Carver, and Mina tells Flash that the technology they're using isn't Star Labs tech but something else, and Carver begins to change into a Speed Force monster. Flash and Mina are unable to subdue Carver until August arrives with 2 recruits. With more help, Flash comes up with a plan. Avery, Scott evacuate the area. August, Mina with me. As the 3 try to fight against Carver, Flash remembers that when someone was hit by the lightning, Mina told him that the Speed Force wanted to become whole again. So he tells them, we need to steal his speed, we need to run against him. As Flash, August, and Mina run beside Carver, they drain the Speed Force from him into their bodies until he returns back to normal. And back at Star Labs, Barry feels that it's time that he grows a romantic relationship with Mina and reveals his secret identity to her. The next day at Star Labs, August and Mina discuss the powers involving the speedsters. August thinks that those who don't want to have the powers, that they should find a way to take them away, while Mina agrees but thinks that they should make that choice for themselves. While in the midst of the conversation, Mina heads outside to find Wally West. Mina tries to have Wally come inside to learn about his powers, but Wally isn't ready to start this. Instead, Mina takes Wally around town speaking with him about the responsibilities that come with these powers. It's fine that he doesn't want to do this, but Wally isn't defined by the Speed Force. He's defined by who he is and how he acts with this. While talking, a nearby painting rig breaks, and as the 2 men fall, both Wally and Mina catch the 2 men on the side of the building, and Mina agrees to help Wally every day privately to learn about his powers. Once Mina gets back, she finds that the building has been broken into, and as she gets closer, it's GodSpeed who has the rookies. Mina tries to help by facing through GodSpeed. However, GodSpeed starts to run around them, increasing his speed, and as Mina tries to tell the rookies to make a break for it, GodSpeed makes his move. Elsewhere, August and Flash are running through the city, enjoying themselves, when one of the rookies catches them and tells them what happened. Once Flash and August arrive, it's too late. The rookies and Mina are gone. GodSpeed continues his onslaught against the remaining speedsters and taking their speed, while Flash is inside Star Labs, saddened of the loss. He thought Carver was GodSpeed, but it turns out he was just another person hit by the lightning storm. When August walks in, he tells Barry, I know this is difficult for you, but you need to get out of the dark room. I think you are in denial. Barry tells August that what happened to Mina was something that happened to him a long time ago. When Avery comes in and tells Flash that GodSpeed has killed another speedster. Flash then heads towards Iris West, who has been working on the case of GodSpeed. When Flash arrives, he finds Wally there in shock of the news that Mina has been killed. When Barry tries to talk with him, Wally runs away, and in disbelief, Barry finds out that Wally is able to tap into the Speed Force. When he walks back inside, Iris gives him some information about the victims. One of the bodies found wasn't registered with Star Labs, and Barry puts it together. Barry finds August running and stops him and says, the victim was dragged at super speeds. Sounds personal. The man was Billy Barks, the man you suspected of killing your brother. Why did you kill all those speedsters? Why Mina? Barry, you two were in love for a long time, so don't make it a big deal. The only thing that gets Barry Allen out of bed is death. Why do you think Zoom killed your mom? With that comment, Barry smacks August in the face. You know, with these powers, I thought about calling myself and making a new improved Flash. But with these powers, I'm judge, jury, and executioner. I am GodSpeed. GodSpeed is so much faster than the Flash that he's actually able to make a clone of himself. Barry is outmanned and outgunned. With this much speed, GodSpeed is so much for the Flash to handle. But then GodSpeed starts to lose it. Dividing himself up also divides the Speed Force up as well, and Barry uses this to his advantage. Barry knocks August down and runs back towards Star Labs to be alone. Meanwhile, a courthouse is being held hostage by members of Black Hole, demanding that Carver be set free. Until GodSpeed arrived, using his speed, he's able to vibrate 2 men into the wall and punches man so hard that he punches his head clean off his body, and takes the last man to the top of a building and vibrates his body to the point where his insides turn to mush. Wally arrives at Star Labs to get the Flash's help. GodSpeed killed Mina and he needs to help. But they are too slow for GodSpeed, so Flash thinks of a plan that he will have the rookie speedsters give their Speed Force to them, but the only way to give up their connection to the Speed Force is by doing it willingly. They all run with Wally and Flash until they receive the boost that they need to take down GodSpeed, but that's when GodSpeed appears and takes Avery. Flash jumps out GodSpeed quickly and the 2 men run outside to the ocean. Where are we? Someplace where we should have been. Iron Heights. I have the speed so I can do everything that you can never do, Barry. You let Zoom live. Revenge is never the answer, August. You can't just go killing people. I'm going to Iron Heights and kill every single one of those inmates, including Thawne. As Flash is reaching out in order to stop GodSpeed, a spark of energy goes off, shocking them both and throwing them off to the side. As GodSpeed uses his ability to create a clone, and before GodSpeed can finish Barry off, Wally appears and punches GodSpeed. With GodSpeed dividing up his Speed Force, Wally and Flash race around him and Wally creates his own Kid Flash suit. August gets back up and throws Wally to the side. As he approaches Iron Heights, Barry gets behind him and grabs him by the neck. August, stop! Zoom must die. No! Barry knocks GodSpeed out, ending this. After a few days, Barry uses his connections to get a private meeting with August and tells August that Billy Barks didn't kill his brother. August killed an innocent man. August then tells Barry that Black Hole didn't start the Speed Force storm and that he knows who really did, but he won't tell him. One day in the future, you're going to come running to me for help. Barry is now training with Wally, and reminds him of when him and the pre-New 52 Wally trained together. However, a mysterious voice tells him, "Thank you."